The Red Wings plane has landed in Sochi with 10 players, Ken Holland and Mike Babcock. Our Tom Leyden talked one-on-one with the Canadian and Red Wings head coach about the full plate he's had throughout this entire year.
Well, this is a man who's wearing many different hats this regular season, and obviously with this Olympic tournament straight ahead. A couple questions. First, based on the Red Wings, what have you learned about your team that's going to be maybe the most important thing that they need to carry forward in the second half of the regular season, and you as a coach need to carry forward?
Well, I think the big thing for us is we've really been excited about our young guys that we've called up. They've made us a better hockey club. You know, the line of Tatar and Yurko and Sheehan has been a line that's played in the offensive zone and made us quicker and faster. Glenn Denning is a relentless type player who brings it every night. Tatar and Nyquist were good for us last year, but have taken it to another level, and that in the end makes you a better organization. The injuries have been a positive thing, I believe, for our organization, just because we know what we have, and so that allows you to make good decisions at the trade deadline and good decisions in July. So all in all, things are real positive for us. You know, we're right now in a playoff position. We'd like to maintain that. We're going to have to battle, and ideally we'll get healthy. But in the meantime, we've sure grown some players.
You know, in the years you've been here, it's been so different because you inherited such a veteran-laden team, and now it's a completely different script. And I feel as though last year's playoffs and the drive to last year's playoffs was the first time we really saw a lot of young guys take a step up and do a lot for this team. How might that have helped set the stage for what we might see this year? Well,
obviously, I think those things are important, but, you know, each year you get a different team, and you got to find a way to make that group win. And obviously, since '09, we haven't been the same type of firepower as a team, and so we're trying to rebuild our club on the fly. There's lots of organizations that have rebuilt their team, but it's 10 years of draft picks. We're not interested in that. We'd like to rebuild it on the fly and continue to get better. I think the positive thing about the group we have now is how young they are, and also they're going in the right direction. And you know, we need Pab back. Let's not kid ourselves. We need Mule back. Those are key players for us. But the guys we've grown here through the organization, through good drafting, through time, and the job Blash has done in the minors have made us a better organization.
You face the pressure. You know what a guy like Pavel's dealing with, given the fact that these games are in Russia. Can you give us maybe a perspective of what you experienced 4 years ago and what you know he must be experiencing now?
Well, he's not going to experience it until he lands, and when he lands, it's going to be overwhelming, I can tell you that. You know, I'm a Canadian, obviously, and coaching the NHL, and was the Olympic coach last time around, but I didn't really know I was the Olympic coach till we landed in Vancouver. As much as you prepared and did all those things, when you land there and you see all those people and they're rabid about it. It's all they want. And Russia's no different. They want to win hockey gold. And so there's pressure, but pressure to me simply means you have a chance. If you go there and your team's no good, there's no expectation, there's no pressure. And so I believe there's lots of good teams in the tournament that can win the tournament. You have to get better each and every day at the tournament if you're going to have success in the end. And the greatest collection of players doesn't win, the best team does. And so you have to grow that while you're there.
What do you think about the different ice surfaces? Back in Vancouver, you played on an NHL rink. This is going to be a little wider. How might that help your team, and who might it help outside of the Canadian team, you think?
Well, I think anybody who's played their whole life over there knows for sure. The neutral zone, because it's bigger, is always a thing to talk about, maybe on the penalty kill. But we're going to continue to do what we do, and then we've hired Ralph Kruger, who spent basically a lifetime in Europe coaching, so that we weren't guessing on how we should play on the big ice. And I think that's going to be, just like I said, everyone's going to be a work in progress. You got to get better. Is it going to affect the tournament? No question about it. But that's part of growing your team.
You have two goalies who are both going to Sochi, who are not expected to necessarily get a lot of game time. What do you expect? How might it help both Jonas and Jimmy to be in that situation, facing the best in the world, even if it's in a practice scenario?
Well, I think it's outstanding for them. Anytime you get chosen to be an Olympian, number one, you should be proud. And no one gave it to you. You had to earn it. And you're obviously one of the best in the world. I think when you're around the best in the world, you watch how they prepare, you watch how they compete, and you get information from that, and you learn about yourself. So you're reinforced in some ways, and you're saying, hey, I could do some things a little bit better. And that, to me, what this Olympic experience is about for all of us. If you're not getting better in your profession, someone else is going to have your job, and that's the Olympics, I think, really help you that.
All right, last one is, how do you avoid rooting for your own guys when you're over there coaching the Canadian team and you know guys, 10 of them are going to be on the ice against you?
Well, I'm going to root for all of them, just not when they're playing us. You know, I mean, I'm proud of these guys, and I want them to do really well. I want Canada to win the gold, and they want their countries to win the gold. I think a healthy competition never hurt anybody. I'm excited about the opportunity. Being an Olympic athlete, being an Olympian is a dream come true. You know, representing your country is a special thing that should be a lot of fun.
Good stuff. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Mike.